Hello everyone! This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister, and I am live from Johannesburg, South Africa. And I'm not hosting this show. I'm gonna throw it off to you.
We welcome you, Adam. Thank you very much for attending the conference, the Steem Saturday conference. Steem Saturday conference hosted by Quadra IT. Give thanks to Jaco, Robert and the team who put all this together. We hope that you've sincerely enjoyed your trip and your stay in Africa, and we hope and feel that you were well received. From us and the team at Free Mind Media, Free Mind Health, we value your inputs, and we would like to know a little bit more about some intricacies between your pro-Bitcoin and different uses of the blockchain, especially taking into an example of Steem.
Okay.
So I would like to introduce my partner and my friend Aslam Motala, who is an avid follower of you and the networks that you belong to, and he has a few questions that he would like to unpack just in this beautiful African setting with the sound of the birds, and here we are.
Well, I want to say thank you to all of South Africa and Johannesburg. And this event today has been very eye-opening. It has been a great way to meet people who truly care about Bitcoin, about Steem, about blockchain, cryptocurrency, all of that. And it's just eye-opening just that there's passion like this in South Africa. And I want the whole world to know that South Africa has the potential to be this huge Bitcoin center. And to me, you know, in North America, we are kind of fixated on like, how is Bitcoin going to work in Africa? How's it going to? Well, here's a real life thing. People are using it. People want to get behind it. And Steem, you know, there's been controversy around Steem and Steemit. At the very least, we can say you can use Steemit, and if you start posting on it, you're going to get a hold of cryptocurrency, and then you're going to get a hold of Bitcoin, and you're going to get involved in the community. You're going to learn about it. So even if you don't want to learn about cryptocurrency, if you just get involved in Steemit, which is blogging, you're going to end up knowing about cryptocurrency. And I think that's a real positive about Steemit. And what I felt today in Johannesburg, here in South Africa, because this was all put on by people from South Africa, they are acting as the free marketing team of Steemit. Because Steemit doesn't have a marketing team. But look, now they have one in South Africa. So the South Africans have stepped up like no other nationality has. So it again reinforces this potential of like what can be here, what blockchain can do here, what Bitcoin can do here. And it's just it's a real life excitement. It's not somebody's writing a theory out. I mean, I saw it for myself that people are passionate about it here and put on a free event that was worthy of other Bitcoin conferences that I've gone to that you've had to pay to go to, that have beaten other Bitcoin conferences that you've had to pay to go to. So I'm impressed with the growing ecosystem, and this is passion right here with the tweets, the retweets, the videoing, and it's great. There's a lot of passion here.
Adam, it's a pleasure to meet you. You know, I've been following you online. First heard about you through Tyzen and his crypto.
Shout outs to Tyzen.
Tyzen, thank you.
What up?
So how are you finding your stay in South Africa so far?
I mean, I love it. It is, you know, you have to be here to fully understand it. In America, we hear certain things about crime, and we have our own problems with crime. When you're on the ground, there's no, I mean, if you hang with the right people, there's no crime, there's no fear. And I think more Americans, more Bitcoin enthusiasts should come out here, check it out, see what the community's what's going on in the community. And I have a proposition that I take everywhere I go. I think a city or a country should just straight up say, you know, we're not making anything official here, but we want cryptocurrency people to come to our country. Mm-hmm. We're not going to bug you if you use Bitcoin. We're not going to bug you. We're open to you. Like, it could be done on a city level even more. Like a mayor of a city could say, we're a Bitcoin city. Come visit us. We're not going to pester you or anything. And it would be a great marketing idea. Yeah. It would just it would at the very least generate interest. People would start maybe sending Bitcoin too. They'd open up a simple Bitcoin address. Yeah. You don't know, and these things sound very basic, But who's tried it?
Exactly.
Who's tried it?
And clearly you can see there's great use cases in Africa. I mean, from hearing the talks at the conference we've just attended, you can understand the plight of the African people and understand how they don't have the ability to move money easily. You heard the guys from Zambia talking about how difficult it is to move money between different countries and pay different suppliers, and this just opens up a whole new world for them.
Yeah, it is, the potential is, and he was a great speaker. I mean, where else are you going to hear a speaker from Zambia? I mean, a lot of people in America just get it all confused. They're like, Zambia, Zimbabwe, I don't know. But there is a difference. That is the amazing thing. And unfortunately, all of these countries have different rules and regulations. Some are stricter than others. So you have to be on the ground in Africa to like kind of start to figure out like which one of these countries is best for Bitcoin, which one is and which countries people are proactively reaching out to Bitcoin. And from what I can see here, South Africans are proactively reaching out to Bitcoin. I'm going to be in Zimbabwe in a few weeks, and I think they really need it, but is there going to be an outreach there? I'm going to be speaking at a Bitcoin conference in Zimbabwe. If anyone's interested in going, it's at the end of the month. You guys can provide a link or whatever. It's called Blockchain Summer School, Harare. Blockchain, I'll be speaking at the end of November. So I mean, that's exciting stuff right there.
And you know, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, you know, being what one calls a maximalist, what do you see as the future of Bitcoin, especially in the world of transactions and, you know, block sizes and those type of debates? I know it's a highly debated topic.
For me, it's very important to be a store of value, to almost be the new gold. Okay, but that's not that's just people hoarding it. But I think it's great for people to have a store of value, because again, in some of these countries, everything gets inflated away. Now, in terms of in transactions, are people going to be using Bitcoin to like buy a coffee at Starbucks? Is it going to be a currency, an official currency of a country? I don't know. I don't know. I would not try to force the issue. I would let things evolve. And instead of, you know, with this block size debate, one solution is to have a hard fork. And I think we've learned a lesson from Ethereum that maybe you should try everything before you go hard forking, because there ended up being 2 Ethereums. And for there to be 2 Bitcoins just because somebody wants to be able to have faster transactions so they can buy coffee at Starbucks, that's not, to me, it's a little scary. So, but I trust all the technical people out there to come up with solutions where you're not going to need a hard fork, where you're, you know, segregated witness. And again, I don't fully understand that, but that's something that'll help solve some of these problems that we've discussed and everything. So, and maybe, you know what, if you want to make a fast, quick, cheap transaction for $2, the equivalent of $2, well then use Litecoin. Maybe you will use another cryptocurrency. So in the end of the day, I see Bitcoin being the gold of cryptocurrencies, being the overwhelming, the thing that you think of. Just like when you think of social media, you think of Facebook, basically. Bitcoin is going to be the overwhelming one, but there might be some fringe other ones that survive that like focus on being anonymous or focus on microtransactions. Who knows? Who knows? We're very early in all of this.
What's your take on so many blockchains and currencies out there? Because I find it difficult to sell Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, especially to newcomers, because once you've passed explaining what Bitcoin is and how valuable it can be in their lives, you then have to cross the next bridge about tons of different blockchains and jumping in between them and side chaining and shape-shifting currencies, and that gets crazy. I mean,
but you don't. I mean, I try to keep it simple with people. I'm like, there's Bitcoin, that's the number one, and then if you're interested in trading and getting into flipping coins and all that stuff, well then go to Taizen's channel and no, seriously, and learn about that kind of thing, because you know that, and this is anyone, if someone wants to be a gambler or a trader, that's their business. You know that most of these other cryptocurrencies are just used for flipping and trade. They're not used for anything. Bitcoin is used for, people pay me in Bitcoin. People want to learn how to store their Bitcoin because they know it's so valuable. That company Trezor, It's a storage device for Bitcoin. Well, they sold out their devices because that's how many people care about their Bitcoin that much, that they don't want to store their Bitcoin on an exchange. They don't want to store their Bitcoin at blockchain.info. But you really can't say that about most other cryptocurrencies. Most people with these other cryptocurrencies are just like, well, so Mr. X thinks it's going to be worth so much more soon, so I'm going to sell it on this, I'm trying to make the most out of it. And when people say they cash out of their altcoin, they're usually cashing out into Bitcoin. And that says a lot. So again, I try to keep, for newcomers, I try to keep it simple. Because sometimes they will ask, well, are there competitors? And then you have to say, well, yeah, there's 700 others here, and that might be a little bit overwhelming. But if you want to be a trader, again, this is all of them. There's all these different blockchains. But as Tone Bay says, he thinks the Bitcoin blockchain is the only blockchain. So you can have that opinion too. It's a legitimate opinion. Tone is very well respected in the Bitcoin world.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate that you've come to South Africa and come to one of the Steem events that we've all been part of, and hope many more come to Africa and come and help us with some solutions that assist in the African continent actually connecting to each other.
Well, it has been an honor, and I'm just flattered that you actually knew me, and I think Ty Zen will actually be flattered, and I just say keep up the good work here and just keep spreading the word about what you're doing, and I think a lot of people from all over the world will come here and be interested.
Thank you.